Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Mighty Miracle God, also known as a third-party Omega Supreme. Now this figure is smaller than a normal Titan class, and I wouldn't be able to tell you the exact price because it was given to me as a Christmas gift. However, if I were to guess, it would be less than $100 Canadian. Now this guy came with 2 sets of instructions, although it's not huge. It was still really funny to see 2 pages and they were just back to back. Alright, so we're starting off with this little piece here, which I'm going to find out at a later point in this video that this is going to end up connecting the 2 parts of the rocket. I actually end up being really frustrated at the beginning because there's not much that explains how this piece is used, and I actually assumed the worst, but you'll see it all unfold. I figured I would leave it in just so you can experience first time unboxing just like how I did it. So here is the tip of the rocket, and here is the bottom part of the rocket. I will note that the orange pieces make it hard to actually stand it up. And here is the figure. One bonus was this little guy, and I just finished rewatching all of G1. I have no idea what this thing is. A neat little thing is we have this changeable face, and it's more of a shocked type of expression. The paint job and everything is really nice, which I'm not used to because I don't have many third-party figures, but it's a very nice change compared to the legacy ones. Both of the hands have this little piece that comes out in order for you to pull out the arm, the joint. Alright, and then to connect this to the figure, it's pretty simple. You just have to slide that little joint in. They are interchangeable pieces, which is nice because you can choose one day to have his right arm as the cannon, the other day can be his left arm. You'll have to pull/unpin the back in order to put in these tracks, which give Omega Supreme his iconic look. One thing you're going to notice is that as this is my first time transforming him, everything is extremely stiff, and it does get worn in, broken down after a couple of transformations. However, you will see me struggle. I really like that you could cut out the blast effects, but as I was doing it, it was much lower quality than like real Great Gundam, so it was a little hard to do. Bits weren't cutting off properly, but that's all good. We got through it, and they're still really neat. One thing I did notice is that nothing really connects to the cannon. Yes, there is that little red piece in there, but no, I did not have a screwdriver on me to remove that and check it if it would fit either way. Nothing fits inside his orange hand, so I was a little disappointed with that. There's nothing in the instructions that mentions where things go. And here you you can see me fiddling a little bit to see if any of the pieces connect with each other. We have seen this in the past with the Studio Series releases, but there was nothing that really stood out here. Alright, so let's go ahead and transform Omega Supreme. After removing his arms, we are going to turn him around and remove his back piece. We're going to actually leave this part open, fold out the remaining of the arms, and untab those two connector bits. And actually his upper chest does just fully come off of the figure, which is really neat. This will become the rover later. So next step is to fold in those shoulders and rotate them, as so. Afterwards, you're just going to fold the entire upper body down. That's where we see the back piece can actually come back down as well. Then you're going to rotate around the hips. I did notice I had to lift those little pieces up to fully allow the legs to go to the back. And we're going to click down these two yellow bits, and that was the easy part. Once we untab those little knee guards, is going to start one of the most difficult first times for a transformation for me. So we're going to start by opening up the leg sideways, and then you have a little bit here that you're going to have to pull out. Later I realized that you can actually just tilt it so that gravity helps you bring it out, but here I use scissors to get it out. Then you have to disconnect those two little bits. They are tapped into each other, so I rotated the camera a little bit just so you can see how you have to lift one of the bits up and then you can separate them. After that, you're going to rotate the leg, and then you're going to set it up like so. And then we're just going to rinse and repeat for the other leg. Now that's done, we're going to connect those two pieces together. You'll have to lift up tiny little pieces to peg in. After that, we're going to disconnect the foot from the sole on both sides. And afterwards, we're going to proceed to rotate the entirety of that foot, and then fold it over, and then rotate the sole part once more. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. The more you do it, the more it'll make sense. After that, we can tab the soles in, and here comes the most annoying part of this figure. We have to lift up and shimmy each of these four little pieces here, and then it's going to fully extend out. So now I just extra sped up this process just so you can see how much of a struggle it was as a first time transformation. Keep in mind, this will get easier the more you do it. On the low, this does remind me of a specific Star Wars ship. Let me know down in the comments if you know which one I'm talking about. Alright, now we're going to flip the entire thing over. The hard part is complete. Congrats! Now we're going to take those little knee pads and open up the bottom of it, and that's going to sort of be like a vehicle loading ramp, from my understanding of this. It pins into his thighs pretty much. And now the fun part is we are creating the tracks. These little pieces tend to fall off. I'm not sure why they're there because the tracks aren't really going to be used or shortened in any other form. But either way, here we are. And now we have the base of the vehicle form done. Alright, time for that upper body we put away earlier. First step is to open up his visor, and unfortunately there's no way to actually open it without it falling off, so we're just going to leave it to the side. Then we're going to rotate the head, or face, to give us a little computer screen type of thing. We can then put the visor back on because we won't be touching that anymore. Next step, on the back you can open up this little compartment and then you have to pull out the first part of the tracks. This part is really hard even the fourth time doing this. However, you can see that you just have to pull it out, and I believe with enough force you'll be able to get through it. It's just going to be stiff at the beginning. Then you have to sort of unpin these little gray things from the side, which will allow you to bend the entire structure over, and you'll just swing them around. Afterwards, you're just going to unfold the back piece, and it's going to pretty much create the tracks for the rover. A lot of unfolding and then putting them in place. These things will snap into the back part of the track as soon as you set everything else up, as you're about to see. And here they are being snapped in to form the threads. Now we can fold this guy all the way back over, and it has wheels, so now it can roll over and just rotate the head to form that famous rover that we've seen. Last part is the rocket. So here you can actually take out a little loading platform, which is really awesome. And then I was figuring this one out because there wasn't much on the instructions for this, for how we can combine it, so I will speed this up and then enjoy watching me struggle. One thing I didn't notice until later is that as you push this piece down without opening it, it will just exactly push in the elbow joint back inside the arms. Here's this little guy that we will never see again. I am not displaying him. This feels wrong. The rocket feels way too tiny here, as you can see. I connected it using the two little pins on the side. However, they do also end up connecting to this middle piece. The issue is that once you push it in and it pushes in the joint, it does not stay stable and it's very loose, as you're about to see. Ta-da! Alright, so let's just transform him back to his robot mode so we can speed up the process for when I finally figure out how to create this rocket. First, we're going to undo the tracks. Fold those bad boys over. You can do this in any order, but I usually like setting up the upper body first. So we're gonna undo the little threads of this rover, everything back into place, fold everything everywhere. And then once we fold this piece back in, it's a lot easier. And then don't forget to lift up that visor and rotate his head over one more time. Let's unpin those knee pads. Now we're gonna start the cruel process of putting these legs back in together. And once again, I will speed this process up. You do have to push on the very top part, which you're about to see me do. Alright, so now we're going to do a little bit of rotating for the sole part and then the entirety of the leg, right after we break apart the connector part here. So we can start by pinning these two back together, and then they'll go straight into the leg. Here's that famous sole rotation. We're going to bring this together right after rotating it. And then rotating the entire leg around. That was probably a little confusing, so let's see how we do it on the other leg more expertly. Now we can unfold a lot of the figure. You can see that knee movement. And slide those shin pads right in there. Next step is we're going to open up the figure in order to place the upper body in there. The only pegs are at the very bottom, right where the abs are. It's unfortunate for the back, that's alright because we have those yellow shoulder straps that will come right in and connect the arms to the upper body. Once that's done, we just have to assemble him once more. Put in the arms just by sliding them in, and then after that we'll put in the backpack and we are done. The ankle tilt is a very nice addition to this. And here is Omega Supreme in all of his glory. decided to fiddle with him here. Pause. Alright, and the moment you've all been waiting for, the actual rocket and how it was supposed to look like. See how sturdy this is? It's not falling apart. I'm in awe. It's so shiny and it just feels so much better. So once you disconnect the middle piece, you can see that there's actual little areas you can rest in these pieces here. I think I'll give this an 8 out of 10.